I was listening to an 80s podcast on Apple Music, and the #1 smash by Duran, the Reflex, came on. I had to talk about it. Hey, it's Michael Douglas. Welcome back to another episode of Dr. Pundit, where we talk about music, not medicine. And, I've always wanted to do a show on this particular song because this is one of these songs where the original sounds really great, but the right remix can kind of tweak a song and make it that much more memorable without sounding over the top and ostentatious and out of control and garbled and all of that crap. That was done with the song The Reflex. And the guy who did it was the former Chic bandmate, Nile Rodgers. Remix versions of popular songs can serve many different purposes. They might help songs and gear them toward a little bit more dance floor exposure, or they could be a way to get contributions from guest artists who weren't around for the original take, where the label or the artist may decide that having a guest would actually enhance the song and make it more memorable, I suppose. Now, rarely does the remix become the definitive version of the song. That's the issue here. So any 80s music lover has their version of a song that they'll keep coming to on streaming services. And the remix version of the song, The Reflex, beats the original version from the LP Seven and the Ragged Tiger hundreds of times over and over again if you look at the stats on most streaming services, Spotify, Apple Music. And that's what happened with The Reflex, Duran's first #1 hit. Success can often breed problems, and look no further than Duran as a great example of this. Their 1982 album Rio, their second release, catapulted them to world superstardom. They could have done anything they wanted on their next album. But as it turned out, nothing they did really seemed to satisfy them. And the sessions dragged on for nearly a year and encompassed studios in 3 different ports of call across the globe. Unwilling to repeat the sound of Rio, they threw everything at the wall. And disagreements over their synth-heavy approach raged among band members, with a lot of internecine squabbling. Things got so rough that the album, Seven and the Ragged Tiger, precipitated a much-needed studio hiatus for the group. Now, one of their studio excursions for this song happened to be in the Lesser Antilles, in the Eastern Caribbean, in the British territory of Montserrat. Here, the group laid down a track called The Reflex. Now, it was worked up in several different sections, different tracks. It's usually the way a lot of these songs are, and then they're subsequently mixed to form the final track. As usual, Simon Le Bon, the group's lead singer, handled the lyrics. Even for a guy known for producing a lot of head-scratching lyrics, The Reflex was particularly difficult to parse. Now, the band slotted the track, The Reflex, as the very first song of the album, so it's clear they thought highly of it and had big plans for it. However, they chose Union of the Snake and New Moon on Monday as the album's first 2 singles. They were also the first 2 top 10 hits on the album. Since those songs did well, the record company looked for a 3rd single. Obviously, they went with The Reflex as that single, but at nearly 5.5 minutes long on the original album, it needed to be shaved down, but still keeping its same sort of punchiness and authority and urgency as a single. Duran decided to give it an entirely fresh coat of paint by ordering a remix. They entrusted this task to former Chic bandmate Nile Rodgers, the legendary guitarist for that band. Rodgers' production work with artists like David Bowie and Diana Ross had made him an in-demand collaborator at that time in 1983-84. Rodgers went bold with The Reflex. He used early sampling techniques to create that stammering vocal effects, that flex, that became really the DNA of the song. And he brought de-emphasized elements of the original, such as the female backing vocalists to the front of the song, the forefront of the song. He also shaved the song down to a radio-friendly running time, and the transformation of this song was staggering. Not that they were two completely different songs, they weren't, and of course they're the same song when you hear them, but it's the quality of the remix which makes this such a special track. So much so that much of the listening public had no idea they were listening to a remix. And the song wasted no time hitting #1 in this country. Simon Le Bon has always played it coy when it comes to the meaning behind this song, and the Reflex is no different. Nonetheless, you don't need to know the big picture to enjoy all the goodness inside of it. Individual lines jump out at you right from the beginning salvo.
Gone too far this time, but I'm dancing on the Valentine.
And one thing that comes through clearly is Simon Le Bon's lead singer as the sense of urgency in the song.
So the ring worry, TV said, don't wanna be around when this gets out.
As for the titular entity, well, the band, especially Le Bon, sums up the inscrutability of the whole song when he describes it, and every little thing the Reflex does leaves you answered with a question mark. Baffling indeed. But thanks to Duran and Nile Rodgers, utterly captivating and a memorable reworking of a song that could have been a twin of the original without losing any of its character. The Reflex, a #1 hit by Duran, and their first of 2 #1s in their career, from the year 1984. I'm Michael Douglas. If you like what you see here on the channel, please don't hesitate to like and subscribe. And as the late great Barry White always used to say, let the music play. And I'll see you on the next episode.